Hey family.
Hi guys.
It's Tuesday, so it is time for another short tip.
We're back.
It's been a long time since we've been around. So for those of you who this is your first time watching us and we seem kind of amped and you're like, well, there's a whole bunch of other Tuesday videos. What's wrong with them? It's been a little while. We've been on a little hiatus, so we're glad to be back. It's Tuesday.
Yay.
It's time for another short tip. This week's short tip is do a spouse eval.
Wow. Do a spouse eval.
Yeah, what's that all about?
So, you know, certain times of the year, sometimes in the beginning of the year, most times at the end of the year, if you have a 9-to-5 job, you typically go through a performance review or an evaluation of, you know, how you did throughout the year, what you can improve on, things like that. And so it's that time of the year for me at my 9-to-5. And what we've incorporated also into that is I have to pick a colleague to, in addition to my evaluation from my, who I report to, I have to pick a colleague to give an evaluation of me as well. Just their perspective, I guess, on what they see when they work with me and stuff like that. And you can pick anyone you want to. And typically, most people will automatically, I guess, veer to picking someone who they know will give them a good review. But I tend not to do that because I want to pick someone who's not necessarily always going to give me a good review.
Gotcha.
They won't give me a bad review per se, but it'll be a challenging one. And it might point out some things in me that I don't see in myself, or some things that I could fix that I never noticed that I could fix. So I typically pick someone who is not going to just automatically off the top of their head say I'm great to work with. And I, you know, whatever they say about me, I'm like, either that's not true and I have to kind of be introspective and try to figure out why they see that in me, or it is true and I also have to be introspective and be like, yeah, that's true. Let me tweak it, or I don't need to tweak it. But it just helps you be introspective when someone gives you an evaluation. And so you can liken that to your spouse. Give your spouse an evaluation of the things that you see that your spouse may not see, so that your spouse can then become introspective and be like, wow, that's how my spouse sees me, or that's what they see in me. Let me fix that, or let me keep doing that. So that's what we're talking about.
That's good. That's good. And for those of you who this is your first time watching us, we've done a similar video called Check In.
Yeah.
So check that out. This is kind of along the same lines. Now, doing a self eval is one thing, right? But doing an eval of your spouse, I know that can sound a little daunting.
Yeah.
Maybe overwhelming. Like, I don't really want to tell my spouse this, that, or the third.
Right.
But we're encouraging you to have a candid conversation with your spouse. If you think about an evaluation on your job, right? That's your opportunity to learn and grow. That's your opportunity to find out some things that are going really well, find out some growth areas, and create a strategy on how you're going to build so that those growth areas become strengths, right? So it's the same thing that you want to do in your relationship. Now, here's what I suggest, so that this doesn't turn into an argument. You have to do this at a time when things are good, not at a time when you guys are at odds, or at a time where this can blow up into something more than what it is.
Yeah, because then you're going to just start an argument and you won't get to what it is that you really were planning on doing.
Exactly. So do it at a good time where you can have a conversation, where you can laugh, where you can ask some questions, where you can say, hey, okay, you see that in me? What is that all about? Let's talk about that. Or maybe, hey, how can I do this better? Or what do you need from me in order to change this from a growth area into something great? And it doesn't mean that everything's going to be a growth area. You may give your spouse a eval and it may be all phenomenal.
10 out of 10.
And that's great. But if it isn't, just make sure that you're having that conversation and that dialogue, and you guys are a team. So as a team, you create a strategy to build so that you can move forward in a greater way. Right?
Yeah.
So that's our tip for you this week. Do a spouse eval. Try it.
Try it.
See where it takes you. See how your relationship can grow as a result. That's all we have for you today. God bless.
God bless.